A feminist reading of Jimmy Baldwin's The Fire Next Time. Down at the Cross, Letter from a Region in My Mind. What religion does the kids? The summer Jimmy turned 14, he says he underwent a prolonged religious crisis. He suddenly discovered God, his saints, and his blazing hell, which I don't need to tell you is terrifying. He says, quote, I became during my 14th year, for the first time in my life, afraid. Afraid of the evil within me and afraid of the evil without. He and all his friends were undergoing all these bodily changes. Some of them embarked on their sexual careers, and because of the way he'd been raised, because of the way religion frames sexuality and sexual desire, he says he considered himself one of the most depraved people on earth. So you have here a teenager going through normal bodily changes, and because of the teachings of the church, he thinks himself depraved and is living in fear of the fires of hell because of the evil he imagines lives within him. He says of the girls his age undergoing the same changes, quote, they understood that they must act as God's decoys, saving the souls of the boys for marriage and binding the bodies of the boys in marriage, end quote. Somehow teenage girls are responsible for boys' behavior. They have to act in ways that keep the boys from straying, control and conduct themselves in ways that will ensure the souls of the boys are saved. Which means that by their actions or inactions, they can lead to men's souls being lost to hell. Somehow, girls' and women's bodies are dangerous, lethal, and girls and women everywhere need to keep it under a tight leash. This doesn't stop even in adulthood, this making women responsible for men's actions, in and outside of religion. Oh, he sexually assaulted you? What were you wearing? Were you drunk? Did you lead him on? Oh, he abused you? What did you do to trigger him? A man would never just do that. Oh, he's cheating? What are you doing or not doing? It's that other woman's fault. It's the spirit of Jezebel that's operating in her. It's never on men to control themselves. It's always women who have to control themselves to save men. Fuck that. Religion is harmful to kids. Living in persistent fear of hellfire is no way to live. Being made to see yourself as evil cannot be healthy. Seeing all things sexual as sinful and depraved is denying a critical part of what it means to be human. Children cannot process these things. There's truly no justification for introducing children to such theories, in my opinion. Just wait it out. When they're adults, they can decide for themselves. But this fear-based indoctrination, when they're too young to understand anything, in my view, does more harm than good. People who grew up in church and left will tell you as much. There's a reason why there are things like therapy related to rapture anxiety and associated fears of hell. It's not healthy for kids. You can teach children whatever values you want without telling them they're evil and will burn in hell.